Welcome to the British Podcast Awards 2022, powered by Audible. Live from Kennington Park, please welcome your hosts. It's Elis James and John Robbins.
Welcome to the British Podcast Awards 2022, powered by Audible. I'm John Robbins, and to my left, a man once described as equidistant between Hugh Edwards and Peter Shilton. It's Elis James.
Hello, thank you so much for coming to the British Podcast Awards.
Elis, can I just stop you there? Unfortunately, folks, I hate to begin on a downer, but Mr. Motivator has pulled out. That's actually 100% true. We received the news that Mr. Motivator was not going to be able to present his award 2 minutes before going at the start of the show. Obviously, a lot of heads fell backstage amongst the crew, but apparently once he realised there was no fee, we really found out what motivated him.
Yeah. What are we going to do with his golden leotard?
What are we going to do with his golden leotard? I'll tell you what we do, Elis. We auction it off for charity.
Yeah.
We absolutely do. Also, people who seem more interested in schmoozing with top execs at the bar, please come down to the front of the tent because there are seats here.
Yeah,
and it's an interactive vibe. Today is essentially an ideas symposium where we try to find the one podcast that hasn't yet been made. Please, if you are on the lookout for Spotify Top Brass, they're not coming, guys. They're not here this year. Joe Rogan's deal was a one-off. The rest of you are getting nada, zilch. No, they're not listening.
No. Right.
Wait till they find out the ice creams are free. They are free, sponsored by Audible. So, the British Podcast Awards, it's the biggest day in the podcast calendar in Britain. Elis, for those amongst us who don't know, what is a podcast?
Oh my God. How do you define a podcast? It's a new frontier, John.
It's a brand new medium that's been around for about 20 years.
Yeah. It is probably the only media platform, I think, that allows the content creators to vape and create content at the same time.
Yes.
You can't do that on television.
No, because with access to a cough button, it's actually possible to vape live on Radio 5 Live. Which is actually in breach of BBC guidelines. Do you know what I say to BBC guidelines? I say, fine, that's fine, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Just whatever you need to do, I'm your man. Because unlike Elis, this is my only income stream.
Sorry. I don't know why I'm apologising. Fuck you.
Yeah. So give me a cheer if you've been nominated for an award today.
Oh.
Lovely stuff. They really do rely on that for the ticket income.
Yeah.
So that's why there's around 1,000 nominees in each category. Because otherwise, this would be empty. And you look at the infrastructure, you'd be running at a massive loss.
Yeah.
Sponsored by Audible.
A lot of talent in this room, John.
All the talent,
in this room.
all the podcasting talent is in this room, apart from James Acaster. Got sick of being nominated.
Yeah.
Powered by Audible. As appropriate as it would be for the British Podcast Awards to feature two white men waffling on with no clear focus, there is quite a... Do come in, mate.
Yes. We're not going to pick on you.
Mate.
We're not going to pick on you. It's not in the spirit of podcasting, is it, to pick on you?
Get involved. Sit at the front if you like.
All right, all sit in the third row.
They've got reserved seating, Elis. They are VIPs, very important podcasters. If anyone else, would you like to upgrade, madam?
Don't worry,
I thought you were holding a baby, but it's a load of cans. I love the way that you held the cans in the style of a baby.
Yeah.
Yeah, because for some people, cans
Don't
are their
say-
children. Other people have actual children. But you can't drink a child.
No.
But you can raise a can. You've just got to avoid tucking in.
That is good. Well done.
So as I said, appropriate as it would be, I'll just do that joke again because I was quite proud of it. As appropriate as it would be for the British Podcast Awards to feature two white men waffling on with no clear focus, there is quite a lot of admin to get through today, folks. That's what today is all about. Fun, then the awards start and the admin begins. Despite it not being Elis's strong suit, he has arrived on time this year. So I have entrusted Elis with some key logistical messaging for how today is going to work.
Yeah, that's right. We want to hear from you as we go through the show. So you can get involved in the conversation on the socials using hashtag BritPodAwards.
And please do that, because what might not be clear from what you've seen so far is quite a lot of what we're doing does rest on that hashtag really kicking off.
Yeah.
So if it doesn't kick off, there's going to be 3 to 4 sections where Elis and I really pushed towards the limits of our ability to improvise. So,
Yeah. If you've ever heard the worst of our podcast intros,
yeah,
imagine that.
It'll be that bad.
but in a suit.
In a suit, which, fun fact, we only found out we had to wear suits 3 days ago. And yesterday, I went to John Lewis at 10 in the morning to buy a suit, and Elis was there.
This is the only suit John Lewis had in my size.
Yeah, she really was very keen to get Elis to get his suit altered.
Yeah.
Elis pointed out that just wasn't really the time span for that because he was driving to a holiday. And so there you go.
This is it.
A 30-28. Strange proportions. I just went for masculine regular. Anyway, sorry, Elis.
We're going to be announcing bronze, silver and gold winners, but only the gold winners have permission to come up here on stage.
Cannot emphasize that enough. We've got 436 awards today, folks.
Yeah.
Only the gold winners can come on stage, and anyone who flouts that regulation, well, I will be performing a citizen's arrest.
Yeah. If
Which
you
I've
don't
always
win,
wanted to do.
if you don't win gold, it is not your day.
Oh, not your day. And statistically, 90% of you won't be winning gold, so it's going to be pretty dour mood in the tent by the end of the day.
Right, we've got 33 awards to get through, including some brand new awards for this year, because the one thing this award show was missing was more awards. If you win, you'll come up, you get your award, you can say 10 words there, and then we'll usher you off backstage for interviews. Let's keep it short and sweet. Here's a really important bit, though, so pay close attention. If you win a gold award tonight, you'll be in the running for Podcast of the Year.
It's the big one of the big ones.
Yeah.
The podcast of the year.
And who's it powered by?
It's powered by Audible. I will be dealing with a lot of the sponsorship stuff because I like to think I lend it a bit of gravitas, but also I'm looking to get more corporate work.
We also have the Listener's Choice Award. Wow. Thank you.
Supported by Acast Plus.
And voted for by the listeners.
Which so it means it's also known as the sort of shameless self-promotion award, and it's whoever's got the most Twitter followers.
Yeah. So let's see if our own campaign focused on nonchalance has paid off. We'll be finding out who is the new rising star and podcast champion too.
Yes, wooing and clapping, very good, very good. I do know it's hot. It is hot. If it does get too hot, we've been given permission to remove our blazers.
Yeah.
Well, with 33 to get through, it's probably best we get going. Elis has kindly come down on a family holiday to be here. If you ever wondered what kind of lifestyle the socially distant sports bar podcast Patreon income provides, 3 words: Centre Parks, Bedford. Yeah, but they don't spend it all on that. He's got a second home. Yes.
No. There was a very brief period before the exchange of contracts when I had access to 2 houses for a week. But
Second homeowner.
That's very, very different.
One of them's in Cornwall.
No.
And he loves the fact that it's ruined the local economy down there. Him and Rick Stein.
Right, the first award of the afternoon is Smartest Podcast. These are the podcasts that make us more intelligent. John, you claim to have the largest brain in the world, so I'm surprised to see that your name's not on the list.
Well, the thing is, with a lot of my intellectual podcast work, they're actually dealing with quite important matters of state.
Yeah.
So they've been censored by the government,
Right.
Which is why they weren't eligible, because so much of what I was talking about was redacted.
Yeah.
So it was just a podcast of silence.
Yeah.
Which doesn't work. That's the one thing we can all agree doesn't work.
Well, you can ask John any question, though, just using the hashtag Britpod Awards.
Yeah, just to re-emphasise, if we don't get hashtag Britpod Awards going, this is going to be really tough.
Yeah.
So do ask me anything you like using the hashtag Britpod Awards.
Yes. This is a room of content creators, for crying out loud.
Yeah.
We can make this happen. Okay. So to present this award, please welcome to the stage, from British Podcast Award nominated The Missing, find out if they win later, it's Pandora Sykes.
Good afternoon. It's a real pleasure to kick off today's awards with the nominations for Smartest Podcast. So let's take a look at the shortlist.
The nominations for Smartest Podcast are A Thorough Examination with Doctors Chris and Zand, Addicted to Food. Decode. Have you heard George's podcast? Lecker, a food podcast. Stephen Fry's Edwardian Secrets. Tan France's Queer Icons. Teach Me a Lesson with Greg James and Bella Mackey. The Tip-Off. The Unfiltered History Tour. Year 21.
Okay, time to find out who the winners are. Bronze, The Unfiltered History Tour. With silver, it's Have You Heard George's podcast. And winning gold. The judges said, the winner does what podcasts do at their best. It goes really deep into its chosen topic. And through this narrow focus, it reveals so much about British culture and society more broadly. The presenter and production are exceptionally good, and the podcast treats its subject matter with gravitas it rarely receives elsewhere in British media. The winner is...
So Decode takes one album and breaks it down track by track, line by line, beat by beat, one UK rap album per season. And at a time when content can feel disposable, paying tribute to culture by listening closely is a really precious thing. And it's all down to the team. Kayo Chingoni, Jack Howson, Amy Bennett, Axel Kakutier, Joseph Patterson, Shara Rambaran, Raymond Tanner, James McNally, Sarah Kenny, Rob Fitzpatrick. Thanks to Spotify, to Cole Kushner from Dissect, our sister show. Thank you very much.
Congratulations to Deco, the producers, Reduced Listening, and Spotify for winning Smartest Podcast. Okay.
One of them wasn't wearing shoes or socks. I bought a suit yesterday. It was chewing gum and not wearing shoes or socks. So, unbelievable.
The second award of the afternoon is, he was barefoot. The second award of the afternoon is Best Comedy Podcast.
Supported by Apple Music.
Amazon Music.
Amazon Music. Fuck. So,
You silly sod.
I just need to make some notes. Supported by Amazon Music. And actually, Apple Music would like to announce that they are not supportive of any of these ventures.
Yeah.
They actually think they're all a bad idea.
Okay, to present the awards. To present the award, it's me and John.
It's Elis and I presenting the awards. So, to unveil the nominees for I'm Here, sorry, it's just, it doesn't quite follow on from the syntax of how we led into it, but I should have dealt with that in my head. I'm here to unveil the nominees for Best Comedy Podcast, supported by Amazon Music. This is the top 10.
The nominations for Best Comedy Podcast, supported by Amazon Music, are Cold Case Crime Cuts, Come Into My Kitchen, Drunk Women Solving Crime, Jamali Maddox, Spooky Shit, My Dad Wrote a Porno, The Skewer, The Staff Room Podcast, This Is Gay, This Paranormal Life, Titting About,
And the winners in reverse order. Bronze, we have Cold Case Crime Cuts. Winning silver, we have This Is Gay. And winning gold, the judges said there is great sound design in this podcast, which came with a natural comedic flair provided by the host. The winner is Jamali Maddox, Spooky Shit.
As members of Jamali's team make their way to the stage at a nonchalant pace, we will just reflect on the importance of humour and podcasts to the general public in difficult times.
Thanks, everyone. Obviously, it's a bit of a cliche when people say we didn't expect to win this award, but possibly one of the strangest paranormal experiences of my life is confidently predicting the Skewer would win and then being awarded gold. So thank you for voting for us and liking the podcast, and have a lovely afternoon, everyone.
You're welcome. Congratulations to Jamali Maddox and the whole team from Novel and Audible for winning Best Comedy Podcast.
Supported by Amazon Music.
Okay, two done. Let's do another one.
The next award is Best Family Podcast, brought to you by Lockheed Martin Logistics. This category includes anything from shows aimed at children to shows aimed at people who have children. So basically, it's just like a normal podcast, but you can't say fuck. To present these awards, please welcome to the stage Jamie Lang from Newlyweds.
Hello, London, it says here. And everyone watching at home, these are the nominees for the Best Family Podcast.
The nominations for Best Family Podcast are Armchair Adventures, Bedtime Stories from Dreams, Bottle Ship Adventures, The Confidence Fighter, Dad Vengers Podcast, Dear Daughter, Coco Sleep, Mother of All Solutions, Operation Ouch, Super Great Kid Stories.
In bronze, we have Armchair Adventures. Silver, Super Great Kid Stories. And in gold, the judges said the winner in the family category is an excellent example of how one simple idea can have such a universal appeal. The judges were really impressed how this podcast, which started as a global competition open to anyone, was developed into such a powerful, emotional, and creative listener. The stories from mothers who want to share some advice to their daughters are funny, sad, and often poignant. The judges would also like to praise the novice presenter, whose warmth and authenticity is one of the main reasons why this podcast is such an engaging listen. The winner is Dear Daughter.
Hi. The saddest thing about this, because this is very exciting, is that our amazing, wonderful presenter, Nami Alanta, isn't actually here today. She's in Kenya.
She's here.
She's on the phone. But this is so exciting because it's been a really great project where a lot of people working across the world have been making a program about talking to your daughter. And every time you've been making the program, the podcast, it's just been like, it's been so nice, like having these amazing experiences with people around the world going, that is so true. Oh, it's exactly like that. It's just been such fun to make. And I'm really sad that Nami Alanta can't be here, but hopefully she can watch on the phone.
Just try. Nami Alanta, do you want to say a few words? I don't know whether this is going to work. Nami Alanta, you buy the microphone. And I think maybe that's all we'll get. But this time last year, it was around today, a year ago, that we were announcing Nami Alanta Combo as the winner of the podcast competition, to actually make a podcast with the BBC, her idea. And then, within 12 months, she's winning this. So it's fantastic. And with the most amazing production team in London and in Kenya. So thank you to the judges. It's amazing.
Congratulations Congratulations to all the team from Dear Daughter. That's from BBC Long Form Audio and BBC World Service for winning Best Family Podcast. 3 down, and we're in the swing of things now.
Yeah.
And speaking of swinging...
Award 4 of the afternoon is Best Sex and Relationships Podcast. To present this award, please welcome to the stage someone who's won this award before. From Brown Girls Do It Too, it's Poppy J.
I just want to say, FYI, I've already tagged you guys, put a story up, and if your corporate career fails, John Lewis might come knocking.
Oh.
Hashtag just saying. So let's see the nominees for Best Sex and Relationships Podcast.
The nominations for Best Sex and Relationships Podcast are A Gay and a Non-Gay, Assume Nothing, Rape Trial, Fucks Given, Homo Sapiens, Life of Bi, A Slippery History of Bisexuality, Millennial Love, The Divorce Social with Samantha Baines, The Meaningful Life with Andrew G. Marshall, The Receipts, The Sexual Wellness Sessions.
So the bronze goes to The Divorce Social with Samantha Baines. And the silver goes to A Gay and a Non-Gay. And for the gold, the judges said every aspect of this podcast, from sound design to content research to presenter choice to episode length, was precisely considered with impressive depth, sensitivity, sophistication, and responsibility. The result is a series that achieves genuine, remarkable balance and explores a subject that's vitally important to discuss, yet often hard to both speak and hear about in a compelling and compassionate manner. Huge efforts have been made here, creating a podcast that's hugely impactful and has a huge amount of teach. The winner is Assume Nothing, Rape Trial.
Thanks so much to BBC Sounds to commission it, Andy Martin, the exec. I think thanks mainly to the women and men who trusted us to make this podcast, or who've had the misfortune to go through rape and sexual assault trials. So thanks to them mainly.
And thanks very much to our non-risk adverse senior head of content production back in Belfast as well for believing in us to see this through. Many thanks.
Thank you.
Congratulations to the BBC Northern Ireland team for winning Best Sex and Relationships Podcast.
The next award is for Best Fiction Podcast, brought to you by DeLonghi. It's not. I was going to say Halfords, but I thought DeLonghi was funnier. This is for podcasts that might be dramas, readings, or groundbreaking new formats for storytelling. To present this award, please welcome to the stage from Key and D, the podcast, it's Ciara Hunter and Diana Vickers.
Whistle, thank you very much.
Oh, yeah.
You ready? Too low, eh?
Fuck's sake. There we go, we got it.
We got it. Hello, everybody. We are Key and D. Today we're here to present an award. Annoyingly, we're not nominees. And we were hoping to give it to our crush, Louis Theroux. He's not in our category, but we're just happy to be here too. So today we're presenting an award for Best Fiction. One thing they had in common is they all had very good diction and very educating and very stimulating. Shall we just get on with it, because I think we're keeping people waiting. And the nominees are...
The nominations for Best Fiction Podcast are Atlantic, a Scottish story. Earth Eclipsed. Fully Amplified. Ignite Climate Shorts. King Frank and the Knights of the Eco Quest. Sound Worlds. The Ballad of Anne and Mary. The Magnus Archives. The Silt Verses. Wooden Overcoats.
Okay, time to reveal the winners.
No more singing, too. They're sick of it.
Absolutely not. Couldn't get that key.
Right.
Bronze. Atlantic, a Scottish story.
Silver. Fully Amplified.
Gold. The judges said that they loved the gentle, atmospheric feel of the winning series.
The thoughtful pacing let this piece breathe, and they were able to sit with the child's compelling narration. It's hard to pull off subtlety in audio fiction, yet this piece did just that. And the winner
is Sound Worlds.
Hi. I'm like really, really shocked about this. I'm an independent podcast maker, and like everybody else who's won, everybody works for the BBC or like Audible or Apple Music or something, and so this is like pretty special for me. None of my crew is here because they either didn't think they were going to win or they got COVID last minute. So I just want to thank George and Eleanor and Tom and Louise and my amazing sound designer, Ross. If you've, please now listen to it because the sound design is amazing and it's really up to him. I really want to thank the Arts Council for funding independent podcasts because without that funding, this wouldn't happen. It's really, really important, and podcasts are just as valid as every other artistic art form, and they should be funding podcasts just as they fund dance and theater and everything else. So write to your MP. And I also want to make a shout out to Future Theater and other queer storytellers who are nominated or who win tonight. So thank you very much, everybody.
Well done to everyone involved with Sound Worlds. Okay.
Okay, folks, you remember earlier in the show when I talked about the importance of that hashtag in order to make sure that segments of the show just really popped and fizzed with energy? Well, now is the time for you to get involved in the show. That's right, it's crowd interaction time.
Throughout the show, we're going to be checking Twitter to see who is sending us messages using hashtag BritPodAwards. Share your pictures, share your favourite moments, share those acceptance speeches you didn't get to say because you lost. And you can ask John any question possible.
Anything you like.
Anything you like. Anything you like.
Elis and I come up with circa 50 podcast ideas a month. Elis, give me 5 ideas.
What's that like?
Yeah, what's that like?
A tall person meets another tall person, but they live in a different county.
Yeah, and they ask what it's like to be tall or from a different county.
Yeah.
Idea number 2.
What's in your bin?
What's in your bin? A borderline illegal podcast where we go through the bins of celebrities with their permission sometimes. 3.
Have you ever seen a big celebrity in a small car?
Yeah. Have you ever seen a big celebrity in a small car? It's a podcast where people like Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson drive to Reading in a Chevrolet Matiz.
Yeah.
4.
What were teeth like in the olden days?
What were teeth like in the olden days? A pretty gripping story of teeth through the ages, as told by dentists, but ones that are sort of media savvy.
Yeah.
Like Roger Taylor from Queen, who is a trained dentist.
No.
5.
Will it come back into fashion?
Will it come back into fashion, which is a podcast about old fashions, and we ask a group of experts.
The bedpan.
The bedpan. Will it come back into fashion? Fox baiting. Will it come back into fashion? So there you go. 5. I mean, some of those ideas are better than podcast people in this room have made.
Yeah.
Especially the teeth one. I'd listen to that. So, our owners, Haymarket Media, are offering a bottle of champagne for the worst new podcast idea that you can come up with today and tweet to the hashtag BritPodAwards.
Yeah.
Not British Podcast Awards. We won't be checking that hashtag at all. That hashtag is dead to us.
Yeah.
It's too long.
It's too long.
BritPodAwards.
Yeah. Do get involved.
Do get involved, because we all have experience here of having ideas that we don't get paid for. So please tweet your bad podcast ideas to the hashtag BritPodAwards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Plural.
Plural. And we will give out a bottle of bloomin' champagne, courtesy of Haymarket Media. That's a real one. Sorry, I realised I've been sort of making up some of the sponsors. This is run by Haymarket Media.
Yeah.
They are big. They are a big deal.
Owned by?
Michael Heseltine.
That's not a lie.
And others, I would imagine.
Yeah, he's 89.
seems to have struck an odd note with the room. Everything here is possible because of them. And Audible. And Amazon Music and all our other sponsors, but not Lockheed Martin Ballistics. I made that one up.
Okay.
And we'll read out the funniest ones as the show goes on. Okay, time for the next award. Please do use the hashtag. Serial, my favourite murder, over my dead body, anatomy of a murder, criminal. What does that tell you about true crime podcasts?
There's too many of them?
Yeah, that's one way of looking at it. Another way is that people like them, so let's make some more of them. To celebrate some of the absolute creme de la creme of true crime podcasts, it's time for Best True Crime Podcast. Supported by Wordery.
Wondery.
Wondery. Fuck. What's Wordery?
It's like a sort of competitor to Word Aloud, man.
Okay.
Yeah.
Supported by Wondery. To hand out this award, please welcome to the stage, from the Political Party podcast and co-host of British Scandal, it's Matt Ford!
Thank you very much. Give it up for Elis and John. Very, very good. You walked out, I thought you were going to launch the new iPad. You look like two ashen-faced executives about to tell the shareholders Q4 has gone bad. But it's a pleasure to be here. This category is the Best True Crime Podcast. Sponsored by Wondery. Let's see the nominees.
The nominations for Best True Crime Podcast, supported by Wondery, are American Vigilante, Bad Cops, Battersea Poltergeist, 17 Years, The Andrew Malkinson Story, Sweet Bobby, The Catch, The Lazarus Heist, The Northern Bank Job, Who Killed Emma, Wild Crimes for the Natural History Museum.
Okay. And in bronze, The Northern Bank Job. Winning silver, Wild Crimes. And gold, the judges said, this podcast grabbed their attention immediately. The host's intensely personal perspective guided us through a complicated journey of twists and turns, while the soundscape, suspense and imaginative true crime storytelling left us lost at sea, searching for an answer to who did it. The winner is The Catch.
Hi, everyone. Thanks so much. I don't know if Jake's here. Thanks to Message Heard. They come in. Really, it's your award. So, yeah, I'll wait for you. Jake's all yours.
I know it's a bit of a cliche, but we really didn't think we were going to win this, but it was amazing, amazing privilege to work on the show. Thank you so much to Michelle, Ben, all the Audible team. And also, I think, huge thanks to all the production that went into this. It was a really intensely complicated show to make. And to Raphael Rowe, who really gave a personal perspective to it after spending 12 years in jail for a murder he didn't commit. In order for him to investigate something like this, really made it really worthwhile. So thank you.
Well done to the team behind The Catch, Message Heard for Audible, for winning Best True Crime Podcast, sponsored by Wondery.
Okay, it's the award for Best Sport Podcast. Sadly, this year, author and journalist Richard Moore, who co-founded the cycling podcast, died at the age of 49. So in honour of him, to hand out this award, please welcome to the stage Tom Wally, the producer of the cycling podcast.
wish I wasn't here, to be honest, doing this. In March, we lost who was a great friend of mine. He's actually been nominated in this category, I think, every year that the British Podcast Awards have been going. He was a great podcaster, a great friend, a great mentor, a massive help to me, a world-class writer. He's the person that opened the door to me into podcasting as a profession. We nicknamed Richard the Buffalo, and because he just stampeded through life, he didn't let things bog him down or worry him. So I hope whoever gets this award or receives this award, they take it in the spirit of the Buffalo. Let's hear the nominees for Best Sports Podcast 2022.
The nominations for Best Sport Podcast are F1 Beyond the Grid, Fight of the Century, Ali versus Frazier. Following on, Football Ramble presents Mark Andrews' My Love Letter to Wrestling, Race F1 Podcast, Tailenders, The Fake Paralympians, the official Manchester United podcast, The Team Sheet.
Okay, and now the three winners. Bronze goes to Fight of the Century, Ali versus Frazier. Silver goes to one I heavily recommend, Football Ramble Presents. And for the Gold Award, the judges said it was a gripping journey that expertly brings the listener into raw, charged moments for a story that needed to be told in this way. The winner is The Fake Paralympians.
So I really wasn't expecting this, to be perfectly honest. So I've just got one thank you to make because I will forget lots. So mine is to thank Simon here, who basically believed in me to be able to present the, or what's the word? Present, that's the one. I'll get there in a minute. Present the podcast. So that's my little speech. And yeah, so thank you very much.
Thank you. For those who don't know the story, just very, very quickly, it's about a Paralympic team in 2000 who won gold in basketball in the intellectual disability category. It's a Spanish team, and it slowly emerged afterwards that out of the squad of 12 players, only 2 of them were actually disabled. It's kind of the worst example of sporting cheating you can imagine, and it affected lots of people around the world, including Dan, who's a brilliant world-class swimmer, but was banned from the Paralympics for 9 years because of what happened. Dan had never presented a podcast before. Yeah, smashed it, mate. Yeah, it's such an honour to work with Dan and to meet him. Thank you to the judges for picking us, and thanks to our editor, Emma Rippon, and to Tracy Mickelin, who's a friend of Dan's, who introduced us in the first place. And yeah, thanks very much.
Well done to the team at BBC Long-Form Audio. Time to move things from my wheelhouse to John's.
Yes, indeed. From shin pads and pretending there's any tactics involved in football to arts and culture. Best Arts and Culture Podcast, supported by Pod Bible. This award celebrates arts and criticism across any and indeed all cultures. To hand out this award, please welcome to the stage from Fucks Given Podcast, it's Reed Amber.
you all look so lovely. Hi guys, I'm Reed, and I am introducing the Best Arts and Culture podcast winners. It is supported by Pod Bible, and the nominees are...
The nominations for Best Arts and Culture podcast supported by Pod Bible are +44 podcast with ZZ Mills and Sideman, Activity Quest, Beauty Fix, FT Weekend, Have You Heard George's Podcast, James Acaster's Perfect Sounds, Legends Fall in the Making, LPO Offstage, Short History of, Talk Art.
What an incredible lineup that is. So for the winners, I've only got one card here.
Yeah.
Oh no, it's in the envelope. That would make sense, wouldn't it? Gold envelope would make sense. Okay. For bronze, Activity Quest. For silver, Legends Fall in the Making. And for gold, the judges said it hits all the marks of a truly successful podcast. It's an innovative format delivered by a host whose engagement with the subject matter shines through. It's funny, entertaining, and unique. The winner is James Acaster's Perfect Sound.
Oh my God, wow. Thank you so much. This is absolutely amazing. James is so passionate about 2016 and the music, so thank you very much on behalf of myself and the team, Hannah Hufford, Anthony Dunbury, and Andy Worrell. Thank you.
Well done to the team at BBC Sounds and James Acaster, winning Best Arts and Culture podcasts, supported by Pod Bible.
Okay, it is time to celebrate the podcasts which make you forget you're listening to advertising.
Brought to you by Kia.
No, it's not.
Yeah, I know, I've just always wanted to say that.
What odd dreams you have. This is the award for Best Branded Content Podcast. To hand out this award, please welcome to the stage Ken Kettany from Love Island, The Morning After.
Good afternoon, good afternoon. Hope everyone's enjoying the weather. So, the nominees for Best Branded Podcast are...
The nominations for Best Branded Content Podcast are Behind the Rings, Forced to Flee, Lives on the Lines, LSE IQ, Puppy Podcast, Pets at Home, Red Bull Basement Sessions, the Global Safety Podcast, the Radio Times Podcast, You're on Mute, Youth Rising by NCF.
In bronze is Lives on the Lines. Silver, Youth Rising by NCS. And then in gold, the judges said a lot of big words in this, by the way. I genuinely don't know how I'm going to read some of these, so please don't laugh at me. These stories have massive resonance with importance, with such a broad range of voices providing eye-riveting witness accounts that may not otherwise be heard, coupled with excellent sound design that was highly evocative and seamlessly supportive of the stories being told. In gold is, bit of noise for them, please, guys, bit of noise, come on. Forced to Flee.
Thanks very much. We made this podcast to mark 70 years since the creation of UNHCR. We were obviously only able to tell a tiny handful of some of the stories of people being forced to flee their homes because of conflict, persecution, and human rights violations. Hopefully this will enable someone to part with some cash and let us tell even more of these stories of these amazing, courageous, resilient people. Thank you very much.
Well done to the team behind Forced to Flee and those at UNHCR, or the United Nations Refugee Agency, to give it their full name, winning Best Branded Podcasts.
In association with Russell Hobbs, a British icon since 1952.
No. Shall we get on to another award?
Yes, next up is Best Daily Podcast. Now, if you thought it was difficult making one podcast a week, these are the real workhorses with one episode a day. To give out this award, please welcome to the stage from the Receipts podcast, it's Talani.
Everyone. Sorry, I have to say this, but all the time we're told that podcasting is really diverse, and it's not so much from this view. So I just thought it was important to say it, and I think we should consider maybe next year we can make it more. But that's not what I'm here for. I'm here to present this, the Best Daily Podcast. And the nominees are...
The nominations for Best Daily Podcast are COP26 Daily, Dan Snow's history hit, Everyday Positivity, Shot and Chaser, The Intelligence, The Monocle Daily, The Santa Daily, The Team Sheet, Today in Focus, Wake Up, Wind Down.
It's all right, guys. You can still have a good time. Don't let what I said spoil the mood. Have a good time. Okay, so in bronze is Today in Focus. Silver is COP26 Daily. And in gold, the judges said, when tackling sensitive issues, creating a community is so effective, and this podcast does it phenomenally well. It puts an expert in the pockets of every community, every member of its community. And the winner is... Everyday Positivity. Listeners, right? They're amazing. So let's all thank all our listeners today, because the community we create around podcasts is so, so special. Obviously, thank you to this guy. I told you to put your fan on. It wouldn't happen without Will. He produces everything every single day. And the team at Purposeful Podcasts, who are awesome. So I had a whole thing prepped, which was around this. When J.J. Abrams took over the Star Wars franchise, I've mentioned Star Wars, he said, Star Wars should always be like a Western. It happens in the Wild West. All the decisions are made and all the action are in the bars and the saloons. And as podcasting gets bigger, may we always be the Wild West of audio. May we always be taking risks and being brave and doing that extra episode just because we can. So here's to you guys. Podcasting is ace. Let's keep it going.
Thank you, everybody. I first started working with Kay through Everyday Positivity, and now she's given me the opportunity to start a career in this amazing industry. So a big thank you to Kay, and a big thank you to all of our listeners and to all of the team who make it all possible. Thank you so much.
Well done to the team behind Everyday Positivity winning Best Daily Podcasts.
Next up is another very special award, the Creativity Award, supported by Audible. To give out this award, please welcome to the stage from Saving Grace podcast, it's Grace Berry!
Everyone, I've got to give a really quick disclaimer. I left my glasses at home, so if you see me violently squinting at this piece of paper, that is absolutely why. So let's look at the nominations for the Creativity Award supported by Audible.
The nominations for the Creativity Award supported by Audible are A Life More Wild, Assume Nothing, Rape Trial, Have You Heard George's Podcast, Neutrino Watch, Operation Ouch, the podcast of everything, Sound Worlds, Stories of Our Times, The Bias Diagnosis, The Flock, The Res.
Bronze, we've got Operation Ouch, the podcast of everything. Silver, we've got Sound Worlds. And then for gold, the judges said it's still breaking new ground and sustaining the highest standards of excellence in season 3. A beautiful, confident and brave production. The winner is Have You Heard About George's Podcast?
George couldn't be here today, so they just asked me to say a few words. I'm Dylan. I'm the commissioner of the podcast. He wanted to thank his team, so Sandra, Vidu, and Berungi. Benbrick said to thank the BBC Concert Orchestra, and I think particularly for this award. So they collaborated with the BBC Concert Orchestra, who in the middle of lockdown scored the entire podcast at Abbey Road over a few sessions. And I think it's the first time a whole podcast has been scored in full by an orchestra like that, which was incredible and really down to them and their kind of creative vision. The podcast also, they had the Common Ground platform this series as well, which I know they want to kind of thank the team behind that as well, which basically created a platform to get listeners to feedback as it released new episodes and then playing those out through the episodes. And that was totally their idea and collaborating with academics on that as well. The podcast is a massive collaboration within the BBC as well. So it's commissioned by us at 5 Live, 4 Sounds, and it also broadcasts on Radio 4 and 1 Extra. So it's the only podcast that I think brings together so much of the BBC because it appeals to so many people. And last thing, what was I going to say? Oh, yeah. There was a moment when the guys delivered the chapter, the final of the series, the last one, and I said to my boss at the time, it's the first time we've got a series in that I've got no notes to give. And he's like, no, on this one we're taking notes. So thanks to George and Benbrick, because I'm still taking notes and still learning loads from working with them. So thank you to them as well.
Before the next award, folks, just a brief reminder to keep speeches to a maximum of 30 seconds. Far be it from me to want to silence a voice from the BBC, but that was too long. That was, we've got a curfew here, folks. So, but no, good podcast, but too long. Next up is another. No, that's the last one. It's time to reveal the top 20 podcasts voted for by the public. Yes, it's the Listener's Choice Awards sponsored by Acast Plus. So let's just test the temperature of the nation. You, sir, what's your name? Nick, what podcast did you vote for in the Listener's Choice Awards, Nick? You what? You failed to vote.
Failed to vote?
That's good. What are you doing here, Nick? Seems you don't have an interest in podcasting. Odd play. You are? If you had voted, you'd have voted, but that's absolutely useless. Well, this is why we have judges for the rest of the awards.
Yeah, let's find out if the wider UK population has done any better than Nick.
In no particular order, reveal the top 20.
It's big. Massive.
Oh,
there it is.
Do we have to read them all? Do we read them all? Okay, we've got Anything Goes, Betwixt the Sheets, Chasing the... Oh, that's embarrassing. That is embarrassing. That's embarrassing. Oh, you've got two, you cunt.
Yes.
Yes. Get rid of it. Get rid of it. Get rid of it. Yeah.
His head's gone now. His head's gone.
Might do something about that later.
Yeah.
Might do. But the next time we talk about that award, we will be revealing who the winner is.
Okay, the next award is brand new. Let's get an ooh. Oh yeah, it's the Climate Award.
Brought to you by Texaco.
This award was open to specialist shows in any genre, a chance for us to champion podcasts and production teams that are making a real difference. To give out this award, please welcome to the stage the leader of Lambeth Council, it's Councillor Claire Holland.
Hi, welcome to Lambeth, everyone. It's a fantastic borough, and as the first London borough to declare a climate emergency, I'm thrilled to be giving out this climate award. So, let's find out who the nominations are.
The nominations for the Climate Award are Chat and Shit to Save the Planet, Common Threads, Get Birding, Great Green Questions, Ignite Climate Shorts, The Long Time Academy, Ocean Matters, The Climate Question, The Spaceship Earth Podcast, which investigates.
Okay, so the winners are bronze goes to Chat and Shit to Save the Planet. Silver goes to the Long Time Academy. And for gold, the judges said, this is a show that makes us think differently about the world around us, seeing even ordinary details through new eyes and hearing what we had missed before. The show's charm and enthusiasm encourages listeners not just to enjoy nature, but to feel included in it and responsible for it, whatever their age, ethnicity, or class. And the winner is Get Birding.
Hello, we're just beyond happy to win this award. It's an idea that started at my kitchen table, and I never thought it would end up here. So Get Birding's mission is to make it easy for everyone, anywhere, to find out more about the birds around them. And we realised that if you connect with a bird on your balcony or your park, you're likely to connect with nature, the planet, and most importantly, get outdoors, no matter who you are or where you live. Get Birding also shows the power of the independent podcast, launching a series we were passionate about without having to wait for a commissioner's nod, and building it into a social impact campaign that now includes a video game and a VR experience. We're constantly inspired by our brilliant presenters, Maya Rokes-Craig, Hamza Yassin, and our producers, Tom Bonnet, Joe Barrett, Jill Davis, and the amazing Lewis Facey, not Lucy. My co-founder, Katie Durham, and I are fortunate to have dads who nurtured our passion for nature, travel, and adventure. And I'd like to dedicate this award to John and to Ken. Thank you.
Congratulations to Peanut and Crumb, the team behind Get Birding, winning the inaugural Climate Award.
All right then, the next award, it's a big one, folks. It's the fantastically vague Best Entertainment Podcast, supported by Create Podcasts. You may recognise a couple of handsome devils in this section, but just to be clear, if Elis and I do win, it's not a fix. If we don't win, it is. Because what is entertainment if not a live radio discussion about things that give you gas? To give out the award for Best Entertainment Podcast, supported by Create Podcasts, please welcome to the stage James Barr and Dan Hudson from Again and Onge!
You're all gay. Give me a shout if you are not gay.
Yeah.
Yep. Sorry, we're mic'd up, so it may have seemed like there were more than there were.
Right, got it. And a shout out to everyone else in between, and a big thanks to the British Podcast Awards for being such brilliant allies to the queer community. Right.
It is time now to reveal the nominees for Best Entertainment Podcast, supported by Create Podcasts.
The nominations for Best Entertainment Podcast supported by Create Podcasts are British Scandal, Decode, Desert Island Dicks, Elis James and John Robbins, Feast is Feast with Big Zoo, Nul Point, Pressed, Shagged, Married, Annoyed, The Down Low, You're Dead to Me.
All right, time to find out the winners.
The winner of bronze is Shagged, Married, Annoyed.
The silver winner is Feast with Big Zoo.
And our gold winner, the judges said, this is a podcast that takes hold of you from the moment you press play. Storytelling at its finest. The winner is...
Decode! Woo! They are here, they're just at the back.
Oh, thank you very much. Use this microphone? Okay. Wow. Second time. Hello. All I can say is thank you to British Podcast Awards. A big shout out to the team. We put our heart and soul into this, from the conception, from the concept, from editing to the late night sound designing, editing moments to be like, this doesn't sound like we're going into a warped loophole thing. Anyway, thank you very much. This means a lot, and that's it. I'm just grateful. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Congratulations to Decode for winning Best Entertainment Podcast, supported by Create Podcasts. Now been beaten by a man with no shoes and no socks.
What an absolute fucking scum. I mean, I know it would have looked bad if we'd won, but...
It would have felt good.
Yeah.
It would have felt good
and
from the top of my head to the tips of my shoes.
Yes.
I bought these yesterday.
Yeah. I just hate injustice. And that is a fucking injustice.
But well done.
Yeah, yeah. Nice one.
To everyone
Nice
here.
one, is what I say.
And if there was a cash prize, he could have bought some shoes. But there's not. Perspex is our wage. The next award is for Best Current Affairs Podcast. To give out this award, please welcome to the stage one of the chairs of the 2022 judging panel. It's John Sopo.
Good afternoon. Thank you for inviting me, and thank you for asking about the new podcast I'm launching with Emily Maitlis at the end of August, which will be on Global, and it will be a daily news podcast. But thanks for the question and the prompt.
Yeah.
Yeah. And she can't be here because she's queuing to get in the Channel Tunnel. Ha. Anyway, this is the Best Current Affairs Award. Let's take a moment to remind ourselves of the top 10.
The nominations for Best Current Affairs Podcast are Death by Conspiracy, File on 4, Media Storm, The Big Steal, The Foreign Desk, The Intelligence, The Slow Newscast, The Week Junior Show, Today in Focus, Westminster Insider.
Sorry, Elis has just dropped all these bits of paper. Do carry on, John.
Yeah, do you want me to fill?
We'll just fill by doing
what I meant to do.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. Bronze, The Slow Newscast. Silver, The Intelligence. And the gold, well, the judges said, a podcast that centres the often unheard voices at the heart of news stories. The presenters are engaging and the production shines. This is passionate and important podcasting. No, it's fine. The winner is Media Storm.
With a lot of hard work and not a lot of resources. It is Helena and I in my kitchen. So to have this recognition within a year of launching is astounding.
We set up Media Storm to try and reframe how lived experience is valued in journalism and to try to put minority groups back at the centre of their story. So thank you so much to the British Podcast Awards for recognising that. As Matilda said, it's a really small team, so the thank yous are very brief, you'll be happy to hear. Thank you to our producers at The Spontaneity Shop, Tom Selinsky, Deborah Francis-White, who produced our show, and
Acast Creator Network for giving us the lesser-known experience of being paid to make a podcast. Yeah. And most of all, to the interviewees and guests on Media Storm who let us platform their insights and their experiences. Our voices are an accessory to theirs, so this award goes out to them. Thank you.
Oh, well done to Media Storm from the House of the Guilty Feminists, and you'll never guess what, folks, it's time for another award.
Yes. And should just point out, not only is that a great podcast, a great speech, it's also the perfect length of speech. That's the standard. They managed to fit a lot in there. The next award of the afternoon is the Best Wellbeing Podcast, supported by Audible. To give out this award, please welcome to the stage from Coupledom, Sabrina and Idris Elba.
This is his gig usually, so.
It's really great to see everyone here. Congratulations to everyone in the podcasting industry. You're amazing. Just want to say that.
Absolutely. And thank you to Audible for putting together such a great day.
Yeah. So, hello and good afternoon. These are the nominees for Best Wellbeing Podcast, supported by Audible.
The nominations for Best Wellbeing Podcast, supported by Audible, are Built to Thrive, Declassified, Effin' Hormones, Happy Place, Homo Sapiens, Manatomy, Self-Care Club, the ADHD Women's Wellbeing Podcast, the Merry Menopause Book Club Podcast. Yours sincerely, Jess Phillips.
Okay, time to find out who the winners are. This is so exciting. So, bronze winner, we have Declassified.
The silver winner is Monotony.
Great. And for gold,
The judges said, in a category as weighty as well-being in 2022, it is not lost on us when a show can still approach a topic as overlooked and life-altering as menopause with a sense of humor.
the team make a real effort to engage with their listeners and has provided an incredible forum for a huge sector of society who are so often left to their own devices. Da-na-na-na-na-na.
And the winner is Effing Hormones.
Wow. Okay, so Effing Hormones is for friends who are stumbling, swearing, and supporting each other through perimenopause. It came about through a drunken lockdown Zoom. And we'd all been experiencing loads of mad symptoms for a long time. And whilst we were chatting about it, I realised, you know what? We're all experiencing these different symptoms, but no one had told about it. No one had spoken to us about this. We didn't know what perimenopause was. And I just thought that was ridiculous. And I think when you're going through feeling crappy, quite a lot of the time, you end up normalising it, you just try and get on with life, but you can end up feeling quite lonely and isolated. And so I thought, if we get our mates together, and we have a podcast that's a bit of a laugh, then the people who are listening who can go through it too can feel like they've got a gang, and we're their gang.
I think when we started this, we were just thrown by how little. I think in the time that we started it, I mean, we've only been really on air about a year, I think. There's been a bit of a menopause revolution, and it's brilliant. It's really great. But I'm sorry to go a bit like campaigny, but the inequality in women's healthcare, it just struck us so much about how little there is known and how lack of information. And the only way that we knew, for gobby northerners, how to deal with it was by just swearing and laughing and pretending we were in the pub, but we were actually in lockdown and sitting on Zoom in our houses being miserable. And so we just thought, if we can laugh about it, we'd love to be able to get other people to laugh about it and not feel so alone. So thank you very much. Thank you.
Congratulations to Helen, Emma, Terry and Bina, the team at Effing Hormones.
Now then, everyone, it's time to celebrate the most impactful, compelling audio that kick-started a national debate, got social media buzzing, or has been widely shared to non-podcast audiences. Kind of like when Elis kicked a ball into a child's testicles, live on Football Focus. It's time for the moment of the year, supported by Audio UK. In a year like 2022, it says a lot about these pieces of audio that we can count them as their own special moments. So to give out this award, please welcome to the stage Hannah Maguire and Saruthi Bala from Red Handed!
So we have to follow up Idris Elba. Yeah. I'm so sorry to whoever wins this award, because that's not quite as fun for you, is it? But sorry about that. So we are really excited to be here to present the award for Moment of the Year, supported by Audio UK. So let's take a look at the nominees.
The nominations for Moment of the Year, supported by Audio UK, are +44 podcast with ZZ Mills and Sideman, Chinese Chippy Girl, Coiled, Happy Place, Masala Podcast, Shagged, Married, Annoyed, Sweet Bobby, The Intelligence, The Missing, Things Fell Apart.
Okay, and here are the winners. So, Bronze Award goes to the Masala Podcast.
Silver goes to Chinese Chippy Girl.
And the judges said about the winner, brought an important and rarely talked about conversation to national news platforms with a fun, smart, and brilliant podcast series.
And the winner of Moment of the Year 2022. That is the year, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. Coiled!
I'm shaking a little bit. So, this podcast is about hair. It's about black hair. I'm trying not to cry.
You got this.
And we made it completely independently from my bedroom for about a year. And this moment was about a corporation that doesn't really care about black people, but they want to take our money. And this award is for a moment. But Black stories aren't just for a moment. They're not just for Black History Month. They're for the whole entire year. And I want to see more of us, like, making podcasts and, like, having a platform. And I hope this gives us more.
You got this. Literally what Leanne said, man. We're really, really appreciative. This was literally independent. Like Leanne said, in her house, we've got our deep conditioner in, we've got our bonnet on, and we're just sitting here. Everything was remote, and we believed in it, and we formed a sisterhood. And I think one thing that I would say to people, stop looking to the bosses, collaborate with people who are around you, because those are your soul sisters, they're your tribe. And I suppose I want to shout out to the man who thought he could bamboozle these two young black women who made it a moment because he said that there weren't no value in a black pound, and actually, fuck that, there's value in all of our black voices.
And that's it.
Congratulations to everyone in that category. Some amazing audio, but well done mostly to the team from Coiled for winning Moment of the Year.
Okay, the next award is for Best Business Podcast, supported by Subly. These are podcasts looking to inspire the next generation of business leaders or helping listeners to make every penny count. To give out this award, please welcome to the stage, from Uncanny and the Battersea Poltergeist, it's Danny Robbins.
Hello! How are you? Yeah, good. I feel like I'm at the podcast equivalent of Glastonbury. This is great. Kennington Monsters of Pod. Brilliant. Let me hear you say ho! Whoa, yes, great. So I feel like I've come dressed for this. I've come as the founder of a young Shoreditch startup company. I came on my skateboard. So this is the Best Business Podcast Award. It's supported by Subly. Good. Let's take a look at the nominees.
The nominations for Best Business Podcast, supported by Subly, are Being Freelance, Money Clinic, Money Talks, 929, Off the Agenda, Social Minds, Tales from the Tannoy. The Little Questions. The Real Work podcast with Fleur Emery. We Built This City.
I'm really pleased to present this because I feel like a podcast can be a friend, but a lot of these shows, they can be a mentor. They do educate and inspire. It's time to find out who the winners are. So, in bronze, we have Money Clinic. In silver, 9.29. And in gold, the judges said an outstanding production that grips and informs listeners with storytelling around subjects that could otherwise be fairly dry. A rotating host and reporters who work because the tone has a consistent professional style. The winner is Money Talks.
Thank you so much for this. This is really, really unexpected. The show's come a long way from when it was two guys talking in a room where you could hear the mice in the ceiling in the basement. And now we try and take topics that might seem really intimidating and inaccessible and explain why they matter to everybody, everywhere around the world. So thanks very much for this.
Congratulations to the team at The Economist for winning Best Business Podcasts.
Now then, folks, it's time for the all-important crowd interaction moment where we make use of the hashtag BritPodAwards, and you could stand the chance of winning a bottle of champagne. It's captured the imaginations of the entire festival, folks. So Elis is going to pitch to me some of your bad ideas, and we'll see which we think is the worst. Do we choose the winner now? No, we don't.
No. Right, okay, you've been sending in your ideas for new podcasts, so let's have a look at them. I've been handed a card here with some of the ideas we've received on Twitter. Idea number 1, John. My favourite merger. Exploring business mergers.
I don't mind it. We could get behind the Heinz Kraft merger.
Oh, yes.
We could go, in fact, to the previously mentioned Lockheed Martin merger in 1995.
Yep, that's
it.
One.
Just 2 episodes.
Okay.
Next.
Stolen. A true crime podcast where I steal things and see how long it takes me to get caught.
Now that is good. I like that. Sort of like an illegal challenge Annika.
Okay, idea number 3. Tables, a podcast about chairs.
Oh, about all the different types of chairs. I think it might be quite visual / sort of sensation-based, but carry on.
Okay, idea number 4. Hard skin. A day-by-day exploration of the effects of foot peel treatment with audio description of skin peeling.
That could work. We can think about that as a bonus podcast for ours.
Yeah. Okay. And idea number 5, Call My Fluff.
Already sold.
Yeah. Guests are invited to guess from which of 5 celebrities' belly buttons the sample in question came.
Yeah, that's in the lead so far, especially just because of the title. That's really great. And please do keep those ideas coming in to hashtag BritPodAwards on Twitter, and we'll read some more out later.
That's right. Okay, next award. Best Interview supported by Podfollow. This award incorporates interviews across many different topics, and unlike the other categories today, this could be just a single podcast episode. To give up the award, please welcome to the stage Jamie Bartlett from the Missing Crypto Queen.
Hello everyone, thanks so much. It's really, really hard to do a good interview. It's an amazing, so pleased to announce it. So let's see the nominations.
The nominations for Best Interview, supported by Podfollow, are a gay and a non-gay, Chinese chippy girl, coupledom with Idris and Sabrina Elba, distraction pieces, where's your head at, full disclosure with James O'Brien, Masala podcast, stories of our times, tales from the tannoy, the secret life of prisons. We are Black Journos.
Congratulations to all of you. So now for the important bit. The winners of the best interview supported by Podfollow. In bronze position, it's Masala Podcast. In silver position, Tales from the Tannoy. And of gold, the judges said, this podcast was a well-executed and compelling listen. Have you guessed yet which one it is? Which enabled listeners to engage with the subject matter in an extremely exciting way. The composition of the archive clips and music imaging served to elevate the story. It covered various aspects of the news, and the interview didn't shy away from challenging its subject. The host was well-informed, knowledgeable, and as a listener, you felt as if you were getting the information from a reputable source. So the winner is Stories of Our Time.
Said they weren't expecting to win, but I really wasn't. For everybody else who was nominated, you were robbed. I had money on most of you, so this is such a shock, but thank you so much. Thank you to the brilliant team at Stories of Our Times who churn out brilliant episodes on a daily basis, and it's not easy, it's relentless, but we are so grateful for the recognition. Thank you. And thanks very much to everybody at the Times and the Sunday Times who make it all happen.
Congratulations to the Stories of Our Times. From the Times winning Best Interview, supported by Podfollow. John and I have taken the executive decision to remove the jackets we are contractually obliged to wear.
Yes. We just want to show any potential, colleagues out there, we can be relaxed on stage. We are just as comfortable presenting a creative award as we are some of the major sort of automotive awards. So we can really sort of communicate with any audience, and it really is too hot.
It's okay. Who wants 3 awards back to back? Yes, that sounds like a good idea. I thought so.
Yes, we're going to try something with our jackets off that's never been done before in the history of the British Podcast Awards, and maybe the history of awards worldwide. We've spoiled that a bit because we've already told you we're going to give out 3 awards quite quickly. Anyway, Elis, would you like to accompany me to the podium?
Yes, absolutely. Okay.
We're just going to hang our jackets here.
Yeah, God, we're cool and young and relevant. Look at that.
Cool guys. They're both...
Oh, it's going to come off.
No, it's not going to come off.
Okay, that's fine, that's fine.
That's fine.
I'll hold them, I'll hold it.
Elis.
Right. Each of these awards are brand new this year and have 3 nominees as announced at the nominations event last month. The nominations for Best Sales Team are Adelicious, Fresh Air Production, and Message Heard Sale. And the gold goes to Fresh Air Production.
Hello. I want to thank 3 people. One is my wife, who didn't want to come today, but I'm really glad is here. Second are Neil and Kayla, who are on holiday and are the other compartments of our sales team mainly. And number 3, the entire Fresh Air production team who are ace and who are brilliant to work with. Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
Congratulations. Next up, we have the best marketing campaign. Did he just refer to 2 colleagues as compartments? Lovely moment. The best marketing campaign nominations are, Anthems, exactly, with Florence Given and Sweet Bobby. And the gold goes to Exactly with Florence Given.
Well, this is exciting, isn't it? Floss couldn't be here tonight, so thank you for printing some lovely cushions so I could bring her up on stage. This was a huge team effort from a fairly kind of newly formed combined team over at Sony Music Entertainment and the podcast team. A huge thank you to Barney, who's actually left us now, but thank you for all of your work on this, and also everybody else at Sony who worked on it, and Floss herself for just being like really leaning into it. And I mean, the photo shoot was so much fun, right? So yeah, big thank you to everyone at Sony and Barney as well, so thank you. Well, it's exciting.
Congratulations to everyone from Exactly with Florence Given. Love the fact that they ran to the stage.
Yes, that is the standard.
Yeah.
They ran to the stage, they were succinct, they were energetic, they were buzzy. That's why they work in marketing, folks. They've got a bit of get up and go about them.
Let's see some sprinting. I love the sprinting. Okay, the nominations for Best Commercial Campaign are... Money Talks. Comfort Eating with Grace Dent. And Ed Sheeran's Mathematics Tour. Okay, and the gold goes to Money Talks.
Hello. I was actually promised I wouldn't have to speak because my boss Danny is here, but I think she's in the lavatory right now. So I'm going to give it my best shot. Thanks to all the podcasters we worked on with this campaign, to Luke and Pete, Wednesdays We Drink Wine, White Wine Question Time. Thanks to the whole Acast team, Acast Creative, Amy, Ula, Jack, Danny, Hattie. Thank you so much to everyone involved. Yes, really grateful. Thank you so much.
Congratulations to Acast Creative and Klarna's Money Talks. And we did it, 3 awards very quickly.
Yes. Zips
Elis,
to it.
you may now put your jacket back on. My armpits have recovered. I think it's time to go back into the more sort of the more professional approach.
Yeah. Bit of dignity.
Bit of dignity.
Okay, the next award is Best New Podcast. Got to be honest, didn't realise this was still a category. I thought everyone in the world had a podcast by now, but apparently some have launched in the last 12 months. So to give out this award, please welcome to the stage...
It's Elis and me, because Mr. Motivator pulled out.
Yeah. Just imagine how motivational it would be if Mr. Motivator had turned up, but alas...
Well, it's Mr. Demotivator. Hello, good afternoon. These are the nominations for Best New Podcast.
The nominations for Best New Podcast are Call Me Mother, Decode, Ignite Climate Shorts, Movie Podcast, Off the Beaten Jack, Outcast UK, Promenade, Teach Me a Lesson with Greg James and Bella Mackey, The Way We Are with Monroe Bergdorf, Yours Sincerely with Jess Phillips.
superb list of nominees there. In bronze position, we have Ignite Climate Shorts. The silver award goes to Decode. And of the gold award, the judges said a truly inclusive show delivered with honesty, exuberance and charm by a presenter who welcomed listeners with their guests, absorbing life stories. There was no doubt the guests felt safe and heard. We could have listened for hours. The winner is Outcast UK.
Right, I've written something on my phone here. Right, I didn't think I was going to win this. Thank you to all of my guests that came on the show for being so honest, and a handful of people who helped me make this, but it really was a very small team. I don't know what to say. Thank you very much, everyone.
Well done, mate.
Well done to Outcast UK for winning Best New Podcast. Wow, we're cooking on gas, John.
We're cooking on gas.
gas.
Brought to you by Cala.
OK, let's get on with another award. This is a returning award now absent in recent years for obvious reasons. It's Best Live Podcast. To give out this award, please welcome to the stage.
Oh, aren't you going to spend a while reflecting on how handsome and charming one of the nominees is, Elis?
No, John, because that would be an outright lie. Also, the podcast you've been nominated for is just a thinly veiled excuse for you to get drunk during records because Dave told you off for doing it on the radio show. To present this award, they've been nominated twice. From Plus 44 Podcast, it's ZZ Mills and Sideman.
That was so nice of you, David, letting me go up the stairs first.
Yes, shout out to all the man them inside, all 5 of us.
Okay. I swear you said that joke last year.
It was at a different show.
Oh, okay, cool. Okay, hi everyone again. So let's see the top 10 best live podcasts that Britain has to offer.
The nominations for Best Live Podcast are Bad People, Cabinet of Jazz, Drunk Women Solving Crime, Girls on Film Podcast, Nobody Panic, Off Menu with Ed Gamble and James Acaster, Pappy's Flatshare Slamdown, The Empire Film Podcast, The Guilty Feminist, The Moon Underwater.
So, the bronze goes to The Guilty Feminist. And silver goes to Nobody Panic.
And the gold, because ZZ cannot be bothered to read this out. The judges said this podcast captured the excitement, energy, and the occasion of the live show with a great rapport with the audience. It was a fantastic, informative listen. You could hear the atmosphere in the room generated for the special 500th edition of the show, and it keeps the genre film flag flying. I see why you didn't want to read this. The winner is the Empire Film Podcast!
Yay!
Run for your life.
Thank you very much indeed. Wow. I'm Chris from the Empire Podcast. This is Helen. This is James. We did not expect to win this, which is why we sat at the back. And it's why I'm wearing shoes with no socks. I'm really, really sorry. Sorry, guys. But thank you so much indeed to everybody on the jury who voted for this, and indeed the judge and also the executioner. Very, very big thanks to you guys. Thank you to all our listeners, because the Emperor Podcast is a labour of love, and we've somehow reached 500 episodes, 525 now, and the latest one's available now on all good podcast apps. And yeah, do you want to say something?
No, just thanks very much, everybody.
Can you believe we won for a live show? Can you believe we won for a live show? So 10 years, 500 episodes, utterly fucking flabbergasted. Thank you, everybody. Thank you very much indeed.
Oh, huge congratulations to the Empire Film Podcast for winning Best Live Podcast.
I wouldn't mind being beaten if it was by someone wearing shoes and socks. That's yet to happen today. Anyway, superb podcast. The spot all... Oh, hang on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Another award? I think so. I don't know why I was wondering what's come next. It's definitely going to be an award. You sort of get snowblind after a while. This is the Best Radio Podcast. Yes. The spot all radio stations cover most at the British Podcast Award, and whilst many of you slave over recordings and editing solely for the love of your craft, these people actually get paid twice, at least if they're on commercial radio. If you're on the BBC, it's just once, which is something we should have thought more about, but negotiations are ongoing. To give out this award, please welcome to the stage the BBC Radio 1 Extra Podcast host, Mariam Musa!
Hi everyone, hope you guys are doing well. So, the nominations for the Best Radio Podcast are...
The nominations for Best Radio Podcast are A Wish for Afghanistan, Homeschool History, Legends Fall in the Making, Our Journey, Room 5, Skin Tings, The Great Post Office Trial, The Santa Daily, The Skewer, Uncanny.
Okay, so in bronze we have The Great Post Office Trial. And in silver we have A Wish for Afghanistan. Okay. So for gold, the judges said, with voices and stories rarely heard, we found the mix of evocative music, contemporary, powerful, and archived interviews made for shocking and compelling listening. This story is yet to be told in as much detail in mainstream radio or on any media, showing exemplary importance of this podcast. It was a pleasure to listen to such an in-depth, impactful, and lively, independently produced series, which could be better suited for the format. And the winner is Our Journey.
Hello, hello. Right. I feel a slight fraud and a charlatan because I had nothing to do with this, despite proudly being part of Sound Women's Southwest. The credit for this really goes to a woman called Miranda Ray. I don't know if any of you are lucky enough to know Miranda. If you're not, please go meet her. She is phenomenal and has basically made this happen on a shoestring with the support of the much-loved Audio Content Fund. So huge congratulations to her, to all the women who helped in South Women's Southwest. I do feel sad because Miranda is always working so hard in a cupboard somewhere and never gets the nice bits. So Miranda, you are a force of nature. I salute you. Congratulations all.
Well done to the team at Our Journey, Miranda Ray and Sound Women Southwest. Now it's time for an award very close to Elis's heart.
It is indeed, because I don't want to mention it too many times. I know you're very jealous, John, but I have actually won a gold here at the Podcast Awards.
And were you wearing socks and shoes?
Yes,
of
I
course
was.
You were.
Yeah, because it's standard.
Yeah.
This award is for Best Podcast in the Welsh Language. To give out this award, please welcome to the stage from Radio 1 and one of this year's judges, it's Sian Eleri.
Hello. Such a privilege to be here with you on a day like today. Glorious sunshine, reflecting all of our emotions, I'm sure. If you're Welsh, give us a cheer.
Hey!
But I do want to emphasise that the Welsh language is for everyone, so I thought it would be lovely for us to all learn our first Welsh word together. You up for it?
Yeah.
Okay. Give me a pod. Give me a lead. Give me a yada. What does that spell?
Podlediadau.
Woo! Marvellous. Okie dokie. Let's see the nominations for this award.
The nominations for Best Podcast in the Welsh Language are Queens, efo Mari a Meilir, Gwrachod Heddiw, Probcast, Sgwrsio, a Siarad Sex.
Lovely stuff. So, with the bronze, it's Queens. The silver goes to Siarad Sex. And for the gold, the judges said the standard of the podcasts in the Welsh language category was better than ever before. The judges agreed unanimously on the winner. The presenter's style is warm and engaging, bringing out the best from the guests and making the podcast appeal to everyone. The intimate style and excellent sound quality encourages the listeners to feel part of the conversation and community as the presenter asks for listener experiences, a welcome improvement on their silver last year. The winner is Gwrachod Heddiw!
This is absolutely crazy. I started Gwrachod Heddiw because I thought women's voices were not being heard through the Welsh language. And it's just a podcast where we compare ourselves to conventional witches because we're still being picked on, we're still being put in our place. But if we keep on fighting, we'll go a long way. So I'd like to thank all of the wonderful, wonderful women who have made season 2 of Gwrachod Heddiw so special. And I'd like to give a special shout out to my partner, Lewis Williams. He taught me how to edit and create a podcast, and he put the kids to sleep for me to record. So without him, I wouldn't be standing here today. So thank you so much. Diolch yn fawr. Diolch.
Oh, congratulations. Llongyfarchiadau enfawr I Gwrachod Heddiw. Well done, congratulations to them. All right, it's time to get back to what we've been sending in on Twitter, those amazing podcast ideas, because this is a content hub.
It certainly is. Yeah, it's really captured the hearts and minds of everyone here who has now left the tent in order to seek solace in beer Moretti. But yeah, we've got 2 more, so it makes a grand total of 5. I think we can agree this has been a waste of time. But still, bottle of champagne from Haymarket Media to the winners, and what a wonderful initiative it is. So Elis, I'm going to pitch you 2 podcasts. Okay. The first is Scramble That. a story told in the wrong order by presenters who are scrambling eggs.
Oh, yes, I love that. And over in 5 minutes.
And you don't get the smell of eggs.
Yes.
But you get the joy of the sound of eggs. Yes. Final one. I don't understand this one. I meme I. I describe my favourite memes and explain why they're funny. I don't edit out my own laughter.
Okay, yeah. It just sounds like most podcasts.
It sounds like all social media, so good stuff. We're going to crown a winner. The winner is...
I meme mine because it's a Beatles reference.
Fine, yeah. I meme I... just because it's a Beatles reference, not because it was particularly funny, but because, and I think it was the only one Elis can remember, gets a bottle of champagne courtesy of the Heseltines.
Should we do some more awards?
No, I think we should do another interactive Twitter poll for another hour. No, I think you pick up your champagne from the bar.
Well, listen, I've got some good news for you. We've got fewer than 25 awards to go.
Woohoo!
So, yeah, we're on the home stretch.
Yes.
Less than 25 to go.
So, is it me now?
Yeah.
It's Award 26, Best Documentary Podcast. A fantastic section of the podcast world. If anyone out there making a 36-part podcast on forensic accountancy, I am available. My agent Emily is over there. Please do approach it with a serious offer. To give out the award for Best Documentary Podcast, not
Why don't we
here.
do it?
They are here. I've seen them.
Yeah. She's had to
gone.
go.
She's gone.
She's gone.
It's Mrs. Motivator.
Yeah.
She's gone back.
Sue Cook's pulled out.
Sue Cook's pulled out again. So it's Elis and I. Hello.
Okay.
The Best Documentary Podcast nominees are...
The nominations for Best Documentary Podcast are Brixton, Flames on the Front Line, Freshwater from Today in Focus, Harsh Reality, Have You Heard George's Podcast, I'm Not a Monster, Lecker, a food podcast, Sweet Bobby, The Bias Diagnosis, The Coming Storm, We Were Always Here.
Okay, let's find out who the winners are.
Okay, winning bronze, it's Have You Heard George's Podcast? Winner of the silver award, it's Harsh Reality. And winning gold, the judges said, a beautiful, empowering piece of work. It placed people with lived experience at the front and centre and provided vital information on a very overlooked issue. The overall production was stunning. The sound design felt like a character in its own right and really elevated the story. The winner is Bias Diagnosis.
Thank you. Hi, I'm Ben. I'm powered by Audible, literally. I don't think Whistle Down are here. If they are, this really is for you. Oh, here you come. Great, fantastic. I'll leave it to you. Congratulations. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Shall I say some words?
Wow. Welcome. This is amazing. Thank you for this award. I'm really excited to be nominated and then to win. This is really a story about people who are oppressed and actually have a really bad experience in the healthcare system. And I got the approach to do this award as a medical student, and now I've qualified as a doctor. And doing this whole journey, thank you. And doing this whole journey was about really identifying that race is an impact in healthcare and actually is untalked about. And we were privileged enough to have these patients tell their story about their bias that they experience and how actually we can look forward. So a massive thank you to Audible who commissioned this for us to be able to tell the story, to Whistle Down Productions, Emma and Anushka for really leading this. We recorded all of this in my bedroom. during the pandemic, and really for this to be our now second award for this podcast is amazing. So thank you, everyone.
I just really quickly just say the names of the six patients who trusted us with their stories, who are Avery, Toby, Colin, Ernestine, Harriet and Oda, without whom this would not be possible. So thank you.
Congratulations to the Bias Diagnosis and the team from Whistledown Productions for Audible. All right, it's time to not focus on just the one podcast, but instead on the teams, the networks, and the publishers behind them. It's Best Network or Publisher. To give out this award, please welcome to the stage a guy who's been nominated 3 times tonight from the Skewer and Cold Case Crime Cuts. It's Mr. John Holmes.
Hello, sorry about that. I was out there drinking Moretti. Right, this has gone on quite a long time, hasn't it? I could have got through Dover quicker than this. Right, this isn't the right envelope. So, you take that over there. We'll make small talk.
No, this is Best Network or Public.
Isn't it warm?
Yeah.
Isn't it warm? Wouldn't I love to take this jacket off, but I'm contractually obliged to keep the jacket on, unfortunately. This is the 27th award of this evening.
This is Elis filling. I love it.
Yeah. And I think we can all agree, haven't they all been very noteworthy? Noteworthy awards. It's my raison d'etre. It's, to be honest, it's the best thing about the British Podcast Awards, isn't it?
What is?
Noteworthy awards.
Noteworthy awards.
I just love it when they're noteworthy.
Yeah,
John, please,
go.
over to you.
It's very good, isn't it? Right, okay. So this is Best Network or Publisher. That's what we're doing, right? Says it there. All right, so are we looking at the nominees? Is that what we're doing? All right, then, let's do that.
The nominations for Best Network or Publisher are Audio Always, BBC Radio 5 Live, BBC World Service, Financial Times, Fun Kids, History Hit, Mags Creative, Noiser, Stack, The Athletic.
All right, the Bronze Award goes to BBC Radio 5 Live. The Silver Award goes to Stack. And for the Gold Award, the judges said, a small team full of spark. They have their finger on the pulse, creating podcasts which could not have been made 5 or even 3 years ago. They are doing it first. The winner of the Gold Award, Mags Creative.
Oh my God. Thank you so much. This just means so much. We're an independent company. We're relatively new. My sister is my business partner. She can't be here. I know she'll be gutted, but I also know that she will be the first to say that this doesn't just belong to us. It belongs to our amazing team who bring so much creativity, passion, everything to the table every day, and it is just a joy to work with them. The last thing I just wanted to say is a big thank you to anyone who has trusted us to tell their story, to bring their vision to life. It really means so much. So thank you. Thank you so much.
Well done to everyone at Mags Creative for their win. All right, we've got 5 awards to go. We're getting there. We are getting there. I've taken my jacket off.
Elis has taken his off. I've left mine on. We are versatile.
Yeah, I look like I'm visiting the troops. Right, okay. The Bullseye Award, this category isn't about people who've gambled it all on a speedboat, but we are producing, we're talking about podcasts that produce exceptional content for niche audiences and those who are underrepresented in other British media. To give out this award, please welcome to the stage Dr. Rupi from the Doctor's Kitchen podcast.
Hello, good afternoon. Okay, here is the shortlist for the Bullseye Award.
The nominations for the Bullseye Award are And Then Came Breast Cancer, Getting Emotional, History Storytime, Jimmy's Jobs of the Future, Locked Up Living, Making Conversations Count, Song by Song, Talk 20s, The Proper Mental Podcast, Yosbeya Haylog.
Fab lineup. Okay, so in bronze, it is History Storytime. In silver, it is Getting Emotional. And in gold, the judges said, this is the podcast that no doubt brought comfort to those listening who had shared experience. The lightness from some guests gave a fuller account when combined with the grittier elements, and a treatment that focused around moments or experiences made it stand out for the crowd. The winner is And Then Came Breast Cancer.
Thank you for this. Unfortunately, Victoria can't be with us today, but using her own personal experience of breast cancer, she has helped us open up a whole world of comfort and support for the 1 in 7 women and 400 men who are diagnosed with breast cancer every year. But what a lot of people don't know is when you have breast cancer, there's the fear of dying, there's the fear of surgery, there's the fear of chemo. And it leaves people feeling isolated and alone, especially in the small hours of the morning, which is why Future Dreams, which is the breast cancer charity I represent, worked with Victoria, her husband Mark, and the brilliant Factory Productions to create this. And before I go, someone's diagnosed with breast cancer every 10 minutes, so check your chests, because it doesn't discriminate in terms of age, in terms of gender, and in terms of ethnicity. And the earlier diagnosis, the better off you'll be. Thank you.
Congratulations to And Then Came Breast Cancer for winning the Bullseye Award. All right, let's switch it up from niche audiences to some of the biggest podcasts in the UK.
Yes, it's time for the Spotlight Award, brought to you by the VW Tiguan. Think different, think freedom, think Tiguan. This one is for podcasts which really bring the medium into the mainstream, the big hitters. To give out this award, please welcome to the stage Dr. Zand from Operation A!
It's a great honour to be asked to present this award at the prestigious British Podcast Award, and to be able to present it having been nominated but not won, in not one but two, in fact 3 different categories, hugely diminishes that honour. I'm just clearing some bile. Thank you. Okay, let's reveal the shows in the running for the Spotlight Award. Here we go.
The nominations for the Spotlight Award are Bad Women, British Scandal, Fairy Meadow, Newscast, Off Menu with Ed Gamble and James Acaster. Real Dictators. Rose and Rosie, Parental Guidance. Short History of. The Foreign Desk. The High Performance Podcast.
I love all these podcasts because none of them were in the categories that I was in. Let's find out who the winners are.
I think it's you, Dr. Zand.
Do I have to say it?
Yeah, I think you open the envelope and read them out. Got it. I'm glad you're not in charge of my diagnosis.
A lot of things are done for me. I'm used to doing it myself. Okay, bronze. This is pretty bad, actually. Bronze, Rosie and Rosie, Parental Guidance. Here we go. Silver, Berry Meadow. Woo! And gold, the judges said, a superb presenting duo who bring warmth, comedy, and fun to each episode. The combination of scripted and more informal links felt natural and endlessly entertaining, not an easy trick to pull off, and made light work of some complicated story time. We really enjoyed listening, and the winner is British Scandal! Woo! Well done.
Thank you very much. Thank you to Wondery for making it. I feel like I shouldn't take the credit for this because the writers, Karen and Wendy, I will take some credit because I co-host it with Alice Levine, who can't be here. She's filming people having sex for Channel 4. And the amazing Russell, who produces it, and Joe and Millie, Stephanie Jens and Marshall Louis for Wondery. Thank you very much.
Superb. Congratulations to all the team at Wondery behind British Scandal for winning the Spotlight Award. We're nearly there, guys. We're nearly there. Come on.
Okay. It's award number 30. It's time to announce our People Awards. After all, they are the ones making the podcast. We start with
the Rising Star Award, supported by BBC Sounds. Elis, give me 18 things you love about BBC Sounds.
the colour scheme.
2.
The fact it's always there.
Yeah.
You can rely on it.
Good.
It's probably the most user-friendly platform I've ever seen.
Couldn't agree with you more.
What a snappy title.
Yes, if you're lonely, asks you to sign in every time you try to use it.
Exactly. It's a very, very, very good platform. This celebrates individuals who've had less than 2 years' experience in podcasting and are bringing something thrillingly new to our industry. To give out this award, please welcome to the stage, from My Dad Wrote a Porno, it's James Cooper and Jamie Morton.
I've just stood up and I'm actually quite pissed. We're going to keep this short because we all want to get more pissed and you're going to shout at us if we're not. But just to say, we are really excited to see where these guys' careers go because podcasting's been pretty great to us. So the nominees are...
The nominations for the Rising Star Award, supported by BBC Sounds, are Amy Richards, Cara McGugan, DJ Flight, Ella Saltmarsh, Georgia Marr, Kirk Flash, Mariana Spring, Meera Kumar, Michael Safi, Shivani Dave.
Okay, there can only be one winner, so the Bronze Award goes to DJ DJ Flight. It does say Fight here. That's their mistake. The Silver Award goes to Meera Kumar. And for the Gold, the judges said they are an exciting new podcast talent with refreshingly funny and emphatic
exploration of the gay experience, which has been produced to a high standard, an inspiration to future rising stars. The winner is Kirk Flash. Come on, Kirk.
Thank you so much. Well, I have no speech prepared, which is going to be lovely news for you guys. Thank you so much for the 3 or 4 people who have been my ride or dies on my podcasting journey. It was only a year ago I got bought a mic for my birthday. They know who they are. And I turned my wardrobe into a podcasting booth, and I made this wacky show called This Is Gay, and the rest of it is history. But this is the first time I've ever stood on the stage and had anyone listen to my voice intentionally. So thank you guys for this. Thank you.
Well done to Kirk Flash, our very first rising star.
Okay, it is time to celebrate and welcome another podcast champion into our British Podcast Award Ring of Champions, joining Fern Cotton, Renee Richardson, my dad wrote a porno, Helen Zotzman, and Adam Buxton. Let's give it up for them. Okay, it's time for the Podcast Champion Award, and here to tell us the recipients of this year's Podcast Champion Award, please welcome to the stage Cariad Lloyd from Griefcast.
I know we are all so hot and this has been a really long, brilliant ceremony, but please take the time to put your phone down and listen, because this is a really important moment and we are talking about some very important people. We all know that there is a podcast for everything these days. There are so many topics. It can look easy to do a podcast. It can look like you can talk about anything and people will listen. But there are some topics, I know well, that are not easy to talk about. Cancer is not an easy topic to talk about. And it's especially not easy if you have it or if you are in remission. And if it looks easy when you're watching them make that podcast or you're listening to it, there's a reason. And that's because the people presenting it are incredibly, incredibly skilled and bearing their souls for you. In 2018, a podcast came along that made it not only easy to listen to, but also enjoyable, educational, vital, and actually funny. Now, I'm sure you understand that those are words that are not commonly united with the word cancer. You, Me, and the Big C started with the return of Rachel Bland's breast cancer, and together with Lauren Mahon and Deborah James, whose own cancer treatments meant they were in remission, they attempted to tell their stories and hoped that others might seek solace and inspiration from listening. It was always intended that the show would have laughter as well as tears. And after many, many memorable moments that year, testicle talk and the infamous poo suit, Rachel announced to listeners that she only had days to live. It was this moment that began to shine a light on what the podcast had already achieved. An audience that was more than listeners, it was a community. With Rachel's announcement, the podcast broke out and revealed to us all the deeply personal relationship these 3 presenters had with their audience. And the reason for that is their willingness to share their stories and their vulnerability at one of the hardest points in their life. When Rachel died, the podcast incredibly did not stop. Her husband Steve bravely stepped up and provided a new perspective. It continued throughout the pandemic. When cancer treatment and its sufferers were so terribly affected, it fought and it shouted to make sure its community was not forgotten. The 3 of them dubbed the podcast the coolest club you never want to be part of. They won awards, they broke taboos, and they undoubtedly, and there's not many of us that can sit here and say that today with our podcast, saved many, many lives by being brave and kind enough to talk about their experiences into a microphone. And then this year, Dame Deborah James began to document her own relapse, sending voice notes from hospital as the treatments got stronger and the options became fewer. And while her last months were documented by the national media and the social media that Deborah was so amazing at, it was the podcast that really told her story and gave her purpose, as she told producer Mike in the last episode.
I just wanted to ask you, like, just for the listeners, really, you know, what's the podcast meant to you, Debs? What's doing You, Me and the Big C meant to you? Seeing this is You, Me and the Big C. What's it meant to you?
It's meant everything. I think having cancer and meaning that I can still have a purpose in my life, because I suppose you think you have cancer and then you think your life is over. Doing things like the podcast has given me purpose back, because it's made me realise the impact that you can have on another person, on saving another life, or, you know, making somebody not feel alone. And obviously that's thanks to our listeners. And I feel utterly blessed to have had these opportunities, probably because of my cancer. Yes, I would give my cancer up in a second, you know, just to have a normal life again. But I think to be able to kind of do it and to feel like you've had an impact is kind of one of the best feelings that you can have, in a really selfish way. But kind of, I've never felt alone because of it.
Dame Deborah James speaking. The show is still continuing with Lauren and Steve. Through the grief and the love and the pain, the commitment to telling those stories has not waned. We are so honoured that Lauren is here today. On behalf of the British Podcast Awards and the podcast industry, this year's podcast champion is the incredible You, Me and the Big C.
Oh, look at you all, thank you. And boo to everyone outside, get in here. Thank you. Thank you so much. Me and Deb had a little joke, as we tended to do on the pod, when Rachel died, that she couldn't die too because I couldn't be calling it Me and the Big C, because it doesn't have the same ring. So she is laughing at me wherever she is right now. Cheers, babes. These podcast awards are our happy place. It was where we won one of our first big awards. We won a Moment of the Year without Rachel. And it was a bit surreal, to say the least. So for me to be standing here without both of my girls, well, it's not right, is it? I don't think there's many other podcasts you can say that would be standing up here whose co-hosts are not with them because they've died of the subject matter. But that is why we do what we do. We knew it was a risk when we started it, and it's something we will continue to champion. Cancer affects 1 in 2 of us in our lifetime, so by proxy, it will affect all of us. And I want to say a massive, massive thank you to BBC 5 Live for taking a chance on these 3 randoms. Well, not Rachel, she was established, but thank you so much for taking a chance on this podcast. I want to say a massive thank you to producer Mike, to Al and T, because they are the glue that have held us together and literally held us up for the last 4 years. To my Steve Blandy, he was the only person we would let sit in Rachel's seat. And there is more work to be done. I don't know what that's going to look like, but the podcast is a public service, and I'm so fucking proud to be a part of this pod, to have worked with those 2 women who I will carry with me forever. We will do justice to. Now, the last podcast, British Podcast Award we won, we dedicated to Rachel. This is for Dame fucking Deborah James. For everyone who's been affected by cancer, for everyone who's going to be affected by cancer, do me a favour, check your tits, and for fuck's sake, check your poo.
Congratulations to you, me, and a big C joining in an illustrious list of podcast champions. Another round of applause, please. Okay. Now it's time for the Listener's Choice Award, supported by Acast+. We've seen the top 20, and now it's time to reveal the winner of this year's award, voted for by you. So please, to introduce the award, welcome to the stage someone who's been nominated 3 times tonight from the Skewer and called... No?
Yep.
So, someone who's been nominated 3 times tonight from the Skewer and Cold Case Crime Cuts. It's John Holmes.
Right, I'm going to explain what happened last time I came up here to present an award, which, because I went backstage and went, I thought I was doing the listener one, and they went, oh yeah, what happened was Elis and John were supposed to present the one you came up to do. Big round of applause for Elis and John for getting that right. I'm happy to be here twice. By the way, can we have also a big round of applause, because the people from Carver PR who have organised this whole thing, right, are on the gates and like, on all the, all around the site. Their bosses have made them wear a completely black outfit on one of the hottest days. Give them a round of applause for sticking with that. Yes. Above and beyond the call of duty. Right, time to find out the winners of the Listener's Choice Award, supported by Acast+. In 5th place, we have Chasing the Racing. In 4th place, Uncanny. In 3rd place, Real Life Ghost Stories. In 2nd place, Elis James and John Robbins. If you hadn't screwed up that earlier thing, you'd have got first. And in 1st place, the winner of the Listener's Choice Award 2022, Red Handed.
Thank you so much for this, guys. I feel like we keep having to follow the best people that come on stage. So to follow you, me, and the big C, we've just been sat in our seats feeling very emotional. So let's take a second and thank you so much. I mean, this belongs to so many people, not just to us. And I didn't get to be here last year when we won because I had COVID, so this feels incredible to be here. And thank you to all of our listeners who always show up for us, no matter what, because we are just an indie podcast. True crime, one of the many that are out there, littering your airways.
True crime, but fuck you.
And just to have them always show up for us with things like awards, with things like our live shows, and to be a podcast that started 6 years ago with a £10 microphone to now be 2nd year winning the Listener's Choice is just incredible. So thank you to the spooky bitches who always show up for us.
My dad died of cancer when I was 12, so I've been crying for like 10 minutes. But the bitch is back. Okay, we've done this 2 years in a row. The last people to do that were Commode and Mayo. Like, nobody has done this. No independent podcast has done this ever. And it just shows that, like, you don't need a CEO to tell you can do it. You don't need someone to give you 15 grand. You don't need to wait for someone to tell you can do it. You don't even need to be nominated in the true crime category. You just need your best girl, some amazing producers. Alex, Seb, Gutham had something better to do. But you just need to go out and do that. And that's the magic of podcasting. I think that gets lost sometimes. But here we are, and we're crying, and thank you so much for sticking around for this bit.
Oh, congratulations to Red Handed, everyone! Okay, now it's time, believe it or not, for the final award of this afternoon.
It's time for the Podcast of the Year, supported by Audible. This is the big one. Anyone who has won already is in the running for this one. So the rest of you, pop off to the bar. I'm joking, please stay. Most people have now left. To give out the final award of the night, please welcome to the stage last year's winners of Podcast of the Year. It's Jessie Lawson from Vent Documentaries.
Hello. The judges said the winner of 2022's Podcast of the Year is a powerful and intimate and utterly personal podcast that captured the very best of what the medium has to offer. It also provided thoughtful perspectives on a whole range of issues. The winner is Dear Daughter.
Hello. To show how surprised I am about this, I just had an ice cream in my mouth literally 5 seconds ago. Thank you so much. This is absolutely amazing. Again, we're feeling really guilty that our presenter, Namilanta, isn't here because she's utterly amazing. And if you haven't heard the podcast, definitely do. She has the most amazing way of talking to people. She just brings them in. She's got this wonderful, warm voice. And you have these amazing, intimate moments with people from all over, having all these different experiences. But at the same time, you're like, oh my goodness, I totally relate to that. And I think we may have got Namilanta on the phone.
So we've got Namilanta on the phone. Hi, Namilanta, can you hear me? I'm just going to put you on speaker, if that's okay. You are speaking now to lots of people. Can I just tell you that Dear Daughter has won the Podcast of the Year? Can you hear that?
Oh my gosh! That's amazing! When did that happen?
Now we're on the stage.
We're on stage and you're speaking to a few hundred people.
I was just about to have something to drink. That's amazing! Thanks, John. Well done.
She's literally the nicest woman ever. And the whole team is amazing. We've had help from people who've come and worked in our offices in London, from Cuba, and loads of people in Kenya have been working in it. So this is just amazing. These guys have been great as well. Well done.
We did say before that Namilanta won this competition, which was only open to people in Kenya, Nigeria, and South Africa who had never been in the broadcast or podcast industries before. And so just for people who were completely new to the industry, we had how many entries? 1,000? Yes. And Namilanta Combo from Kenya won that. And we were telling her she'd won it about this time last year. And so 12 months later, she only goes with these guys and the amazing production team, goes and wins the whole bloody Podcast of the Year award. It's amazing. So thank you.
And one quick thing, when she first heard herself back on tape for the very first time, she said, I don't want to do this. No one wants to hear my voice. Nobody wants to hear me speak. And here we are now. So well done, Namilanta. We'll get her over here to celebrate.
Congratulations to the whole team behind Dear Daughter podcast. I mean, that's too much. One thing overrunning, it's another thing doing a speech again. But congratulations to everyone who's won. Well done. That is the end of the awards.
Well done to all of our winners. Commiserations to those who missed out on an award. But I've got good news. The bar is open.
Yes, it is.
As are all the wonderful areas you might not have had time to enjoy earlier on.
We're not kicking you out till 7 o'clock, so catch up with all your favourite podcasters.
Yeah, thank you again to our sponsors for making this weekend possible, especially our headline sponsor, Audible, as well as Acast Plus, BBC Sounds, Pod Follow and Campaign.
Kia, Motorola, Vision Express, Shell and Wix Fitted Kitchens.
Don't forget to share your photos from today using hashtag BritPodAwards so that other people can shamelessly steal them without the credit you deserve. Thank you again for watching. Enjoy the rest of your evening.
Bye-bye. Bye, everyone.